Welcome to Capital Spotlight. I'm your host, Dave Barber. In these segments, we like to visit with members of the General Assembly and discuss some of the issues they've been working on. Now, if you notice the scenery being a little different today, that's because we're coming to you from the Rhode Island Convention Center in downtown Providence for the 2010 Business Expo put on by the Providence Chamber of Commerce. With me right now is a member of the Rhode Island House and a very important person in the goings-on here today, Representative Frank Ferry. Representative Ferry, it's good to see you, sir.
Good to see you also, Dave. Thank you.
How important, how big is this 9-bill package that was signed today to the future of Rhode Island and the future of Rhode Island business?
I think it's big because it represents the cooperation that's going on in the General Assembly with the House, the Senate, and the Governor's Office and administration, and small business. I'm a small business person myself, and I got a quick funny story that years ago, I didn't know what was going on at the State House. I didn't know who my representative or senator was, and I had gotten a bill from the state, and it was for littering, and it was a litter tax. And I said, litter tax? I don't litter. My business is inside. I don't do anything outside. I said, this is maybe some fast food restaurant that needs a litter tax, but why do I get a litter tax? Well, come to find out, the state had passed a law for a litter tax based on your income and the type of business you had. And I guess because I do have, I do serve food and beverages, that I got this litter tax. And it opened my eyes to say, wow, what's going on? I called the state and they said, well, call your representative, call your senator and complain to them because we're just doing our job. And that's when I realized, you know what? You need that communication. Businesses need to speak up. You need to get together, cooperate, sit at the table together. So that's what this bill represents. It represents everybody collaborating and doing what's good for the state of Rhode Island in small business.
Yeah, because it's small business that's creating the jobs right now. It would certainly be great to have another G-Tech or another Hasbro, but the likelihood of that happening anytime soon is probably remote. However, that small business that's going to hire 10, 15, maybe 20 people is very reasonable, and maybe you folks made it just a little easier.
You're right, because the small business with this 1 employee, 5 employees, 10 employees, it's the backbone of Rhode Island's business community. And that's what we have to address, and that's what's happening today. That's why it's exciting, and that's why it's important.
Now, I noticed, too, that in this 9-bill package, I know one of the things that you are particularly interested in was making sure business people are notified properly about the various permits and licenses that are required. Can you give us a little general overview of that?
Well, it's to comprehensively put all that information together. So, as a matter of fact, me and my husband opened up a business just last year, granite and tile, and we went through that permit process, and it seemed like it took forever. And so this is just going to put all that information into one place. Because where do you go? Do you know where you would go if you're going to open up your business and you needed all the permits, somebody to tell you?
Well, of course I wouldn't. And I thought that was interesting, too, hearing the governor say today that he's going to sign an executive order, creating an office that will help people like yourself that just started another new business to shepherd them through the process.
Right, exactly. So that's exciting, and I know that's what business people in Rhode Island want to hear, especially somebody who's, going into business for the first time and has no idea what to do.
Now, you mentioned, of course, you're up close and personal in the business community. You've operated a business for some time now. What are your customers telling you? Do you get a sense that maybe they're becoming a bit more optimistic?
I think so. Just in the flow of business, that yes, people are being more optimistic, and what's been working is the message about buying local and being local, and and the stay vacations that we've heard about this season. But I think people are being optimistic. I hear from some businesses and that they are starting to hire, that revenues are starting to go up, that they're seeing a light at the end of the tunnel. It's going to take a while for us to get there, and we have to do it the right way, and we have to be responsible. So, but I think there is an optimism, as the House Majority Leader has spoken about, and that's a good thing, and that's so I'm optimistic about it also.
Well, let's hope that you're right. Representative Ferry, you've always been cooperative with Capital TV. I thank you so much for talking with us.
Thank you, Dave. I think it's a great service because I know I have a lot of people come up to me at my business and tell me that they've seen me on TV, and I said, when? No, maybe 2 in the morning, maybe.
Yeah, well, we're on 7 days, 24 hours a day, and again, that adds to the transparency of what we're trying to do in government.
Absolutely, because there are people watching TV all times of the day, and everybody has different schedules, and it's a great service.
Best of luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
And thanks to you for watching. You've been watching Capital Spotlight. I'm your host, Dave Barber.